It is hard to believe that the conflict in Syria has raged on now for more than 6 years, killing 465,000 people and displacing half the country's population, 12 million from their homes. The founder of Light for All Nations, our ministry partner Nizar Shaheen, has just returned from one of the most damaged cities in Syria, Aleppo. Welcome back.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
You are just back, and you saw some horrific things. We've seen pictures of Aleppo. It doesn't seem like there's anything left. What did you see there?
Well, it is a city, 5 million people. Just imagine Toronto or Greater Toronto. Only now about 1 million or 1.5 million left in Aleppo. So you drive like hours, all that you see, destruction everywhere.
Wow.
Been standing in some areas, and still a lot of corpses underneath the rubbles, and I mean everywhere you see the destruction.
Wow, and how dangerous was it for you there?
Well, they say Aleppo, according to the United Nations, it's the most dangerous city in the world. But I believe, to be in God's will, that's the safest place. So it's danger, but what we do, it's really you put it behind whatever is difficult.
I can't even fathom the emotion that you would feel as you drive through this city and see the destruction. What goes through your mind as you're there?
Well, I'm a student of history, and Syria has offered the world great civilization from the beginning of time. And just to remember, Syria is mentioned in the Bible many times, and it is the foundation. It's where the whole mission foundation started, from Antioch, Syria, from Syria to bless the rest of the world. To see Syria today, it's heart-wrenching, and it breaks your heart to see all the sufferings and the outcome also of the war. Not only death, as you mentioned, it's more than 500,000 people, but there are more than 2 million without limbs, without leg, hand, without eye. I mean, just the story goes on and on in Syria.
And you think a particular group that we are concerned about, obviously, are people of faith that live there. They're one of the oldest and most historic Christian communities in the world. People are saying that in the Middle East, particularly Syria and Iraq, that is genocide. Is that what we're seeing? Absolutely,
because it's there is no other words trying to cleanse Christianity from the founder, civilized countries of Christian faith. So yes, I mean, it was 10-12%. Today is less than 3% in Syria. And the same story goes about Iraq. So many people ran from Mosul and other areas to the north, and many people are displaced all over the world. And of course, here in Canada, we had more than 35,000 refugees left Syria to come right here in Canada.
You were over there just recently. Like we said, you just got back. You brought over some humanitarian aid. We are so grateful that we get to partner with you, and you actually get on the ground in Aleppo. Tell us how that went. What was the humanitarian aid for, and what did you see over there?
Well, there is a great need there. So I went and I work. When I go there, I work with the local churches. That means all the churches. The Syrian Orthodox, the Catholic and the Greek Orthodox, the evangelical churches, and the need is humongous. Just to remind you that more than 3 years there is no electricity. The last 4 months there is no water. But the people there are courageous and resilient. Really, they develop things. So they developed what they call it amber, to bring electricity into certain areas, at least for heat and cooking. And of course, water, they have to drill between 200 to 400 meters to bring the water, and they put fountains beside the churches to allow people to come and fill water jugs. Those who can't, they take the water into the buildings, because there are no elevators working at this point, so they are bringing the water to the people. I mean, it's on every aspect. It's food, helping with medicine, helping with follow-up psychologically, physically, every aspect. So there are so many people, and it's called Help with Dignity. Remember, most of the people that we are helping, these are professionals. I mean, doctors, engineers, and business people. It's one of the highest actually in the world. Today, they are zero. I mean, nothing is left. So when we talk about help, we are helping from every aspect. And I'm so thankful, just to say it right now, for 100 Huntley Street, for all the help you are offering and providing there. And I tell you, even though I feel like it's a drop in a big ocean, but at least we are making a difference in many lives there.
Oh, and we're so thankful to you. I know you risked your life to go there. I know that your heart is not just to help them physically, but to help them spiritually and emotionally as well. I know you pray with so many people. And the church, you know, you say all the churches are destroyed, but the church is still, like, the people that are left, the Christians that are left are still reaching out. They're drilling those wells. They're doing what they can.
Actually, the churches took a great stand to help people and to shed the light of Jesus there. And that's why they are very well respected by people, because they see the action of the church there. So there are lots of kind of help, not only electricity, water. In winter, we help with fuel and heating, blankets and jackets. Now we're working with them to support diapers for the children, because, I mean, tens of thousands of children, they have no diapers, they have nothing. So we need diapers, we need milk. There is no milk. So we have to provide what you call it, powdered
formula?
Formula, powdered milk. That's the only thing is left there. Plus, also medically, we are helping some people there, because almost every house they lost someone, either kidnapping or killed. And of course, I will provide later on all the tapes that we did, you know, providing the help, and also how we interviewed people who lost many precious lives.
There's so many more stories to come. We only have a minute left, but I just want to hit on the spiritual hunger of people, because we're seeing a change in the spiritual climate. And if somebody there gives their life to Christ and they have any kind of Muslim background, it's very dangerous, and yet it's happening, isn't it?
Absolutely. There are many Kurdish people, they are accepting Jesus Christ. There are many people who have nothing to do with religion, because they saw what religion can do, so they are coming to receive Jesus Christ. But also the atmosphere, it's the spiritual climate that really surprised me in Syria. It's way open. They are very receptive. I interviewed many people. For example, a young man who was eating, a shell came, and it changed his life to think about God. Another young lady, she lost her husband and she lost her son. And I said, okay, what is your message to ISIS? She said, well, I have to follow the master, is to forgive them. But also she prayed for justice. I mean, to come to this realization of the power of forgiveness, it has to be the Lord himself. There's so many kidnappings. I mean, every family I met, they have someone or two of their members are kidnapped, and they're waiting for their release.
Wow, it's just heartbreaking.
Lives are being destroyed, but Jesus is still bringing hope to the lost. Isn't that awesome?
I mean, in the meetings, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people receiving Jesus Christ, the gift of salvation.
Wow,
And oftentimes the worst scenarios, we think, oh, nothing can happen there, but Jesus shows up. Thank you for bringing those stories.
Well,
thank you for what you do.
Just to say thank you so much. And we live in the greatest time in history in terms of harvest. We truly are enjoying the harvest in the Middle East.
That's seen so many people give their lives to Christ with spiritual hunger. And if you've given to Crossroads Relief and Development, if you've given to 100 Huntley Street, you are part of this miracle that's happening in the Middle East. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.